You have probably spent way too much time overthinking what to say, how to stand, what to wear, and whether your cologne was doing enough heavy lifting. And somehow, after all that effort, the guy who barely tried walked away with all the attention. That is not a coincidence. That is a pattern. And once you understand what is actually happening underneath the surface of attraction, you will never look at those situations the same way again. Women are not attracted to the things most men perform. They are attracted to the things most men forget to notice about themselves. The quiet stuff. The stuff that does not announce itself. That is exactly what this video is about. If you want to keep understanding how attraction and social dynamics actually work, subscribe to this channel. No pressure, just good insights waiting for you every week. The first quiet behavior is presence without performance. Most men walk into a room either trying too hard or completely checked out, scrolling through their phone like they are waiting for life to begin. Real presence is different. It means you are actually there, engaged with what is in front of you, not rehearsing what to say next or worrying about how you look. Women notice this almost immediately because it is genuinely rare. When a man listens without planning his next line, when he looks at her like the conversation actually matters, something shifts. She feels it even if she cannot name it. And yes, this also means putting the phone down. Revolutionary concept, we know. The second behavior is emotional steadiness. Not coldness, not detachment, but steadiness. When something unexpected happens and most people around you panic or overreact, the man who stays calm without being robotic stands out completely. This is not about being emotionless. It is about not being controlled by every wave that comes your way. Women interpret this kind of calm as security, and security, at a very deep psychological level, is one of the most attractive qualities a person can carry. You do not need to fix everything. You just need to not collapse when things get slightly complicated. Before we go further, let me ask you something directly. Have you ever felt invisible even when you were doing everything you thought was right? Have you ever watched someone else get attention effortlessly while you felt like you were working twice as hard with half the results? If that resonates with you, drop this in the comments. I was doing it all wrong and I did not even know it. You will probably find you are far from alone. Sharing that moment of recognition helps other people watching this realize the same thing. The third behavior is having a life that does not revolve around her. This one sounds almost too simple, but the psychology behind it is fascinating. When a man has his own projects, his own friendships, his own sense of direction, he becomes genuinely interesting. Not as a strategy, not as a game, but because a person with a full life carries a kind of energy that a person waiting to be chosen simply does not have. Women are drawn toward men who are moving toward something. It creates curiosity. It creates a quiet form of respect. And ironically, it creates the exact space that makes her want to be part of what you are building. The fourth behavior is humor that comes from observation, not desperation. There is a significant difference between a man who is funny and a man who is trying to be funny. One comes from noticing the absurdity of life with a light touch. The other comes from needing approval. Women can feel the difference instantly because one makes her laugh and the other makes her slightly uncomfortable. The quiet humor that lands is the kind that is unexpected, observational, and self-aware. The man who can laugh at himself without falling apart, who finds the comedy in awkward situations without needing a reaction, that man is genuinely magnetic in a way that is hard to explain but impossible to ignore. The fifth behavior is directness without aggression. Most men either communicate in circles, hoping she will figure out what they mean, or they overcompensate and come across as pushy. The middle ground is simply saying what you mean with calm confidence, asking directly, stating your opinion without apologizing for having one. This kind of quiet directness communicates something very specific to the female psychology. It says, I know who I am, and I am not afraid to show you. That is not arrogance. That is clarity. And clarity, in a world full of confusing signals and mixed messages, is genuinely attractive. The common thread running through all 5 of these behaviors is that none of them are performances. They are not tricks. They are not lines you rehearse in front of a mirror. They are all expressions of a man who is settled within himself, who is living his life with intention, and who does not need external validation to feel complete. That kind of man does not chase. He attracts. Not because he is perfect, but because he is real. And real, in a world full of curated presentations and constant noise, is exactly what stands out. Keep observing. Keep refining. The more clearly you see how people actually behave, the more naturally you will understand what truly moves them.